Hi, I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr, and you're watching the VOG.net. I'm here at Volusia Motorsports in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and here with me is DSJR, formerly known as DSJR 70, and you are staring at his beautiful 2012 Victory Crossroads LE number 1. Now, Don, tell us about this bike. I noticed that you've made a number of mods since I've seen it last.
Yeah, we blacked out most of the bolts on it, added TPMS, added a hammer wheel to the front, standard Crossroads wheel to the back, stereo system, ram ball mount, bunch of little things.
Now, what's your review? You know, I know you haven't put a lot of miles on it, but a few thousand miles. What's your review of this bike? Because you remember you came off of Vegas's Vision Cross Country. You've pretty much had a number of different victories over the years.
Well, it hasn't changed since my last review. I really love the bike. It's a great riding bike. But it's still about the same.
Okay, and I know you said that when you get this, you're not going back to Vegas as you really enjoy this bike. Is that correct?
Correct. I like the core frame a lot more than the steel frame bikes.
Well, I have a question for you. Why are you selling this bike?
Everything gets old. I have a limited attention span, and I get bored easy.
Let's go in and introduce the buyer of this bike, because believe it or not, a lot of you people know him. Let's go and introduce him. Come on in. You know him as Phoenix 09. In fact, you have your name on the shirt. Your name is Mark. Yeah. Mark, you flew in from Phoenix to buy formerly Don's 2012 Crossroads. You're coming off a Vision, and that's a bike that you said that you were never going to sell. What happened?
Well, it's still, in my opinion, it's still the best bike that's out there for touring. It's just a great handling bike. But things have changed a little bit. You know, moving to Phoenix, I bought that bike in Chicago, and it is a fantastic bike for wind management, staying warm in the colder weather. I don't do a lot of cold weather riding anymore. Now it's more of 100 degree, 95, 110 degree riding. So, you know, looking for something, you know, always wanted something with a little bit more airflow to it. And then when this bike came out, I let Don know in no uncertain terms that when he sold it, and I knew he would sell it at some point in time, I definitely wanted to be in line for this bike.
So you got the call, and then you said yes, and you jumped on a plane to head up to this area.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he let me know that he was thinking about getting rid of it, and I told him, let me think about it, and it was probably about 2 hours later when I made the decision that, you know, I could work with this bike. There's a lot of different things that I could do to it.
Now, I'd say the first thing I noticed, you know, I just walked into the dealership, and, you know, you might not notice, because when you first told me you were going to do this next mod, I was wondering in my head, what's it going to look like? And I came in, and it's so subtle and blends so well. I have to tell you, it's really, I think it's brilliant. Can you tell us about it?
Well, actually, I'm guessing that people that are watching this video right now don't even realize that the cross-country tour hard lowers are on this bike already. They just really blend into this bike very well. That was one of the agreements with the wife, was she needed some wind protection when we do go out in colder temperatures or we go up into the mountains. She wanted something that would kind of block the wind a little bit for her. So, you know, I thought about it, and the lowers are perfect. And to be honest, I thought, you know, I wasn't really sure what they were going to look like. When Don shot me a picture of the lowers on there, shot me a picture of the bike with the lowers on it, I had to look at the bike 2 or 3 times before I even realized they were on there myself.
Now, it blends very well. Now, knowing you, and I know you're a very organized person. In fact, on VOG, we call you the voice of reason. I know that you've already scheduled out exactly what you want to do with this bike. Do you want to share that with us now?
Well, you know, obviously putting the lowers on there, and I like the fact that I can take them off. And as a matter of fact, when I get back home after 2,200 miles, that'll probably be the first thing I do the next day, is take those lowers off. And they'll be off probably till November, December, and then I'll put them back on. I also want to do a fairing, a removable fairing, so that you know, possibly put the speakers. Don's already done the stereo, but maybe mount the speakers up in or a second set of speakers up into the fairing itself. And I've talked to Mike at HMD, who's out of Tucson, and I'm trying to get down there. When I get the bike back, I'm hoping to get down there and see what he can do, see if he can come up with a good-looking fairing, something that'll wrap over the top of that headlight. I'm not a fan of the Victory one because it doesn't come far enough forward to cover the chrome headlight, but it also has to be able to come back behind the light bar, and so that I don't have to take the side lights off as well.
So the whole purpose of this bike is going to be make it a convertible, where you can make it like it's a street bike or something that's going to give you good airflow, or even when you want to be protected, you put on the lowers and the shield. Is that a pretty fair assessment?
That's exactly what I'm thinking about doing with this bike. Being able to take that windshield off in just a couple of minutes, being able to take the lowers on and off in a couple of minutes. If and when I do the fairing, I want to be able to do the exact same thing, because I want this bike. I really miss the sleeker cruiser look that I used to have with my Roadliner. I really miss that, and this bike gives me the ability to be able to really have two bikes.
Now, have you ridden it yet? I know you just flew in last night. Have you had an opportunity to take this thing out for a spin yet?
No, I have not ridden this bike. I've sat on it, but I have not ridden it yet.
Now, I'm understanding you're going to stay in Daytona another day, then you're going to jump on a bike and ride her back to Phoenix. After that ride, do you think that you can come back online and give us a full review?
Oh, I will. I will. I'll have 2,200 mile to almost 2,300 mile review. So we're going to get some warm weather, some cold weather, and knowing Florida, maybe some rain as well. So I'll have a good review when I get back to Phoenix. Okay,
now just comparing this to your Vision, I know that Don made some mods on here. You're used to having an audio system. You're used to having a GPS, but now Don has put on, with the PAL speakers, you have it wired up where your Garmin GPS is going through there and then going through your audio system as well. And then you have your iPod Touch on here for music. Do you think that's going to help equate to the loss of features you had on your previous bike?
Really, the only thing that this bike doesn't have at this point in time is the heated grips and the heated seat. And if I really wanted to, I could put those on there. But
let's face it, you don't live in Chicago anymore. You're in Arizona.
Exactly. So do I want to spend, another $500-600 to, put those mods on there to use them, 2 days a year? Yeah. Probably not.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on here. And it's a gorgeous bike. Oh, one other question. In my opinion, the Crossroads, I think, has the nicest paint scheme that Victory's put on a bike to date. As you've added the lowers and the future fairing, are you going to do anything to the paint scheme, or just going to keep them black?
The paint scheme will not change. With it being the limited edition 001, it's the paint scheme that's on this is not going to change. I was thinking about mimicking this LE paint scheme on the sides of the lowers and then integrating it into the fairing as well. The fairing will definitely have the paint on it because that's very noticeable. To be honest with you, the lowers they blend in so well. I'm not sure that it needs to be done down there, but who knows?
When you first told me about this, my initial thought was, yeah, you would need to paint it to match. But after seeing it up close, when you come in, it took me a minute to realize the lowers on here. They blend in so well. I started off the segment that way, and I mean it. It's really a nice look for the bike.
Yeah, like I said, it blows me away how well they integrate in, and I'm already really enjoying the amount of space that's down there and being able to put things down in those lowers. So.
And how do you like the larger bags compared to the Vision?
A lot. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm not so sure there's that much volume more, but the way that they're set up, it allows me to put my leather coat in there. And as big as my leather jacket is, I have not been able to shoehorn that into the Vision side bag. I've always been able to fit everything I've ever needed on the Vision. I'm not going to complain about the Vision storage. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal. But being able to put my jacket down into my bag as opposed to on my back seat or on a backrest is pretty nice.
I have to tell you, these lowers came out much better than I thought they would. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised after seeing how well they integrate if Victory doesn't come out with a Crossroads tour at some point as an upgrade to this bike.
Well, maybe I'm giving them some good ideas.
Well, you saw it here first. Mark, I hope that you have a safe ride back to Phoenix and that you give us a full report when you get back.
Absolutely. You can count on it.
Well, thank you very much. For the VOG.net, I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr, and I'll see you on the road and online.